Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've got ourselves a 4-minute late entry to the Ace and Ektar Heroes of the Storm casting podcast. I'm Ektar, he's Ace, and he's the reason we're late.
Hey.
I don't think we've ever opened with immediately throwing blame at someone, so this is a nice little change of pace.
Is it? Is it a nice and change of pace, if you wish? I mean, look, we tried to make it fast, and then they killed us to death, and that prevented us from winning the game immediately. So, I mean, you know what? It does, in fact, happen.
I really hope we get an update during the match about the game that you left to come into this cast.
Yeah, it was 55% on their core, and we have Tyrael Morales in Macro Pirates. They actually did it, not by my suggestion, too. It's kind of amazing.
Alrighty. So, for all of you out there, you can see now, because reading is fantastically overpowered, that we are playing on Brax's Holdout, but because we've been on the starting soon screen this whole time, no one besides me and the captains knows exactly how we got here, so I'm going to bring us out of the draft screen for just a second. Coin toss was won by calculated throw, and they chose first pick, because that's what you do in Season 9. Your math teachers banned out Tomb of the Spider Queen and Cursed Hollow. Calculated throw banned out BOE and Sky Temple, and now we find ourselves on Brax's Holdout for game number 1. With the above heroes banned out and Deckard Cain getting first picked, it's not just an A East thing.
That's surprising, though. Somewhat, as ETC is the only premier tank left, and they had first pick, and they had the chance, so clearly more priority onto the Deckard than the ETC. It's completely fine.
It's surprising in a vacuum. It's not surprising if you look at the heroes they play. Deckard is their most played hero by a fair margin.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I am
opting not to take ETC here might end up biting them a little bit, because he is, as you said, the only real premier tank left. It's maybe less critical on Brax's Holdout, just because of the less rotation and it's more static, so you don't need quite the same things. You certainly don't need Johanna for wave clear as much as you do. I think Garrosh is actually fine on this map because it's a point control map.
I tend to agree with that as well. The Orphea being picked up by Monodorp, I've seen Orphea gain a bunch of popularity since her buffs. She's been quite powerful, and I like it. I like the pickup a lot. I want to know if your math teachers are going to take Hanzo for the simple geometry quest, though.
Why would you expect that specifically?
Because they're your math teachers. They will teach you simple geometry.
Geometry joke, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. I'm going to try and fit as many math puns into this as possible because it is my forte. So, you know.
Yeah. I'm really surprised at the Anduin ban, because Rikuhime plays Malfurion almost to a fault. It's Malfurion or he's banned out.
Wow. One-trick supports are, I think, the least common, as far as I hear.
I would tend to agree, but I would say that, at least in the current meta, they are the most map and composition dependent.
Yes.
At least as far as the really good ones. Like, you can pretty much throw Johanna or ETC into most other sets of 4 heroes, and they'll work out to a decent enough degree. But the Yrel and Nazebo, I think, are really strange pickups for this map. Yrel is fine. I don't see her all that much when I'm not playing with Colonel Pants. But Nazebo on Brax's Holdout is a really big Nexus think for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a Nexus think as well. Maybe if you're using him for the walls, he's the Tassadar you have at home. If you're using him for damage, I don't know. It's a choice, I suppose. So, I think it can work out if Tater is ready to pull out some good Nazebo play.
I think he's better on this map than he is on
BOE?
On BOE, yeah. Just because of the way that the area that you're fighting over is laid out. Like, you can get more wall value. Because it's 2 very wallable entrances onto those objective points. So, in that regard, I think he's kind of fine, but his value, I think, is going to really peter out about level 13 all the way until level 20 plus Vile Infection.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Ragnaros was picked up as a soul laner, so defense.
Alright, because you have a bias, I'm going to go ahead and show my bias and say that on the right-hand side in the red trunks we have Calculated Throw, with Grievent playing Deckard Cain. Scooterman is playing on the Hefe, but not using the Hefe skin. Mona Dirt playing the Orphan, Tater playing Nazeebo, and Mystic is playing Wyroll.
Systems online.
I was reading all the red names, preparing to announce them all so I wouldn't mess any of them up, and now you've thrown this loop for me. On the left side of the map, in the blue trunks, it is your math teachers, and our instructors today will be MZEZ on Kael'thas, Coyote Stark on Ragnaros, Rikuhime on Malfurion, Inti on Greyman, and Kuzan on ETC.
Checking out the level 1s, I think... Ooh, nice little throw combo from Scooterman. I think you've got all standard pickups coming out for Calculated Throw, and I'm not 100% sure for Ragnaros or
That's
Greymane.
standard. Blast Wave is pretty standard, and Viciousness is standard for Greymane. Yep. The only thing, Rikuhime gets thrown a little bit, followed up with the Deckard root. It's going to take a lot of damage. Tater is going to get rooted, though, and, you know, it's just kind of Braxis holdout things where teams trade health bars.
Yep. Although I guess these days Toads is a little bit less standard for
Yeah, that's what I
Nazeebo.
was about to ask. Pandemic, appropriate for the day, but maybe, you know, I don't see it as much as Thing of the Deep.
Yeah. Although with this map it is a little harder to stack on, and because you're four-manning constantly in the bot lane, getting those Toad stacks could be relatively easy for them. So far doing a really good job of playing around the Garrosh throws, as it's mostly been ETC who's been able to slide out. Scooterman is going to be the second to fall, as they actually get the kill onto the cow first. Monoderp is pretty low, but Grieven's going to get her tops out. He's basically had constant 20 spell power from the... or spell... Is it spell power? Is that the term?
Yeah, it's spell power. Yep, that is exactly what it says in the ability.
Oh my god, and it's 40. I forget how insane that talent is sometimes. 40 spell power if you hit two people
40.
with roots.
Those potions are thick.
Yeah, they are.
So big. Ektar, we do have an update. We have thrown the game according to the rest of the team. They said Wedge made us throw, and
Shots
and everybody
fired
threw,
at
so they
Wedge.
lost. So Wedge said above statement is true. So
Okay, well... At least when you've messed up and you know you've messed up, there's something to be said about that. Rikuhime getting caught in a zombie wall is going to get some spiders thrown at him, but more or less able to walk away without too much of a punish. I've
Yep,
definitely
and
dropped
Beacon
his
is
frames in the
channeling.
game, though.
That is unfortunate. I cannot tell you what to do to help that. But we did have 16% channeled for your math teachers, 42% channeled for Calculated Throw. It looks like your math teachers will be able to take top button and start their capture up once again.
Yeah, there was a good attempt to throw Greymane over the wall, but just not quite enough upper body strength coming out from Scooterman there.
That is a disappointing statement for Garrosh. He would probably try and take a lot of upset words with you at that. Two Hearth from the bottom for Calculated Throw, and Mystic is fighting Coyote Stark on the top. Is going to eventually take the button. He's going for the kill, and is letting the beacon channel. Might be, you know, it could be a tactical thing to let the Zerg wave come in earlier so it's not as strong, but it also could have just been an error.
I think he may have thought that he had gotten it to the halfway
Yeah.
stop channel point before leaping off, and it just wasn't
Yep.
quite there yet.
Yep. I agree with that.
Good unstoppable coming up, but popped maybe just a bit too early. He doesn't get stunned by ETC, but he still gets caught with the root, so... But actually no damage was put into Scooterman for that, so... Maybe a bit of a blunder
No.
from your math teachers, but certainly nothing that is going to allow Calculated Throw to get into a good position, as the Zerg wave is crashing pretty hard on this bottom board.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Zerg clear here for Calculated Throw. The wave, again, though, is a 3-minute wave, and it's pretty weak, so it gets front wall and half the bottom fort, but that's not too big of a deal for the first objective.
Most importantly, though, they got the well. And in the lane with the 4-man. So that's actually really good, I think, for your math teachers. And oh my god, the mini potions. Scooterman,
Get
step
him!
up.
Scooterman! Walk through them. Yes!
You see how much healing that was? Each of those potions, and I'm going to say this in every cast with a Deckard that picks up Ruby, every miniature potion is 92.5% as effective as a full potion. Math teachers, you should appreciate that I had to figure that out at one point off stream. But you can get 3. I'm going to get a calculator because I do not mental math even a little bit.
Do you want... It's 22.5% off 300, so 277.5%.
Yeah, and that's off of one person. You can hit so many people and get so many mini potions. And that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 3/4 of a potion, more or less, for every time you hit a ruby.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Scooterman's trading out a lot of health, but again, he's got a lot of rubies inside that Deckard scroll. Don't forget, he also gets 40 spell power on those potions, too. It's insane. Deckard can put out so much healing, especially when he needs to, because he gets bombs thrown right at him. But, Tater, out of mana. Grievant, little low. So they're going to have to take a quick break and seed control before the next beacon phase starts up.
Yeah, and checking top lane real quick. Mystic was basically out of mana. He got some from the caster minion just now in the orb, but he's down to half health and below that in mana, and Ragnaros is sitting really pretty. I think Coyote has been pushing Mystic away from a lot of globes, perhaps. And just generally the soul lane is not going in favor of a calculated throw right now.
That kind of surprises me. I would think Yrel would do better in that matchup, but it might be that the damage of Ragnaros is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see the Meteor on 7. I don't know Rag's talents that well,
I think that's Meteor
but
spell armor? Oh, it's increased damage, never mind.
Yeah, there is no Blast Wave talent on there, but usually don't see Meteor without it. But, you know, I'm not a Rag player. I defer.
Really quick, immediate channel from the side of your math teachers. Tater tries to dissuade ETC from going in by throwing some toads, but ETC just walks through them because he's a big old tank boy, and Tater is going to get blown up by a nicely placed Flame Strike.
Yeah, it was a nice little finishing shot there for the Flame Strike there, and that'll give your math teachers the early advantage to level 10 as they are now looking to be in control of both beacons. Coyote Stark is dueling it out with Mystic up top for power of the button. I think Mystic wins that on point.
In theory, I think you're correct, but I think that it's just being played a little bit stronger from Coyote Stark. That is the first quarter of the game going as level 10 advantages coming in favor of your math teachers, picking up a very big number ability in the Pyroblast.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like big numbers. And Fireball is a spell you use all the time for everything, so seems good. Again, the top lane duel is occurring, but it looks like it's rotation time as both teams appear to be headed towards a conflict in the top lane. Level 10 is going to pick it up imminently. Let's see how fast they can get it locked in. Does not matter for Deckard Cain as he is instantly obliterated. Greymane traded out in response. Transcendence, Tranquility coming out, but the mana bars for your math teachers are very, very low.
That is going to be the kill out on the Monoderp and the Orphan as well, and that is certainly going to be the second objective going over, this time 100-0 for your math teachers, and they're already rotated up into the lane where it's going to be pushing. One thing to note, we did see Ragnaros go into Sulfuris Smash and not the Lava Wave, so they're not going to be able to clear Bot Zerg Wave necessarily for free. They may want to rotate someone down there, but they were actually sending Mouth back, probably just to get mana, but I mean, they could maybe try to do some stuff.
Yep, it is a possibility, but we do see the top 4 basically it's not being given up for free. ETC gets a nice slide, goes for the mosh pit, but ends up paying for it for his life as he used the face melt and grabbed tower aggro first, so very dangerous play in 2020. MZ Easy gets just dodges the Deckard route. Nice job there, and counter Flame Strike almost got a lot of damage.
Yeah, I really like in particular, Monoderps play during that last team fight, both the Crushing Jaws and just able to continuously hit these Qs so that they can stay on the chase. That's kind of Orphea's problem. If she misses a Q, she becomes almost ineffective in a lot of team fights, and she's kind of not missing.
Yep, that is true. Monoderp just playing the Orphea well, going with the standard build with the 2 Dread Talents on 1. Ooh, Scooterman wants to get that Malfurion. He does not want that Malfurion enough. Instead, the rotation is down on a Mystic, who's going to be in a little bit of trouble as ETC gets a Power Slide. Curse Bullet is going to... Do we have the mini potions? No, Sulphurous Smash confirms the kill. Deckard, now in a little bit of trouble, is going to live just fine because... Oh, he didn't have the 10 armor for that. Oh, that got a little scary right there at the end.
Yeah, but this is going to give them the free invade onto this camp, because they really can't try to do anything 4 versus 5 and down 13 at the moment.
Yep, that is very, very factual. Ektar went and did the math. Okay, you ready?
Excellent, I'm ready.
How many potions does it take to match an Ancestral? How many mini potions?
I don't know what Ancestral's base healing is.
It's 1180.
1180, so... I think you'd have to hit 3 people for it to be an Ancestral?
It is 4.72 potions. So you need to hit 2 people. Potions.
Oh my god.
So you need to hit 2 people. 2 people and pick up 5 of the 6 potions to gain 1 Ancestral Healing's worth of mini potions. I just want to point that out, and that's without spell power bonus. Math teachers are moving on to the boss, and boy do they rip that down fast. Holy cow.
Yeah, Grievent might try to get a stay while I'm here, but actually, they are on the boss point. Ace is about to be a huge throw pit in either direction, as there's a lot of bomb damage coming out. Heroes dying on both sides, but in the end, it looks like it is going to favor your math teachers in a 5 to 2 sequence of kills. That was not possible to commentate eloquently.
That's understandable. A lot happened there. I thought Calculated Throw had that to start. They got the 4-man Stay a While all clumped up on the point into 4-man Jaws, into like 3 or 4-man Taunt, and they couldn't quite get all the kills finished out, but boy, that was exciting.
Yeah, it was. That was really close. Interesting, we have Ancient Blessings come out, which I don't see anywhere near as often these days.
Yeah, it took like 3 consecutive nerfs, and you know, that's just what
also buffs to the other 2
kill
talents.
A talent. Yeah, that'll kill a talent a lot.
I still do see it sometimes. I'm just a little surprised to see it in this comp because you don't have any particularly good attack speed. There's a
when
little
we're
bit of a
on
bush
Ancient
party
Blessings,
coming on. ETC's got a Mosh. He's looking to hit some people with it. Only actually going to find the Garrosh there, and he's just going to walk into a Mosh, it looks like. Oop, Grievent is about to get pyroed into death. Might survive. Doesn't survive. Tater does get caught out in a bit of a weird spot. Is just trying to delay their own death a little bit, and is going to go down as well. But props to Mystic for getting the rotation all the way to the bottom lane to stop the channel, at least for a little bit. They're only rotating Ragnaros too, so this is something that if Calculated Throw identify, Mystic could just stop them from getting the rest of the channel, because there's still 4 people in the top lane. But instead, Mystic backs off.
Yep, safe play. It might have been too difficult. I wasn't looking at the vision of Calculated Throw. They might have been able to check it out. Taunt comes out to disrupt the engage from ETC. Monoderp takes a bunch of damage from a Cursed Bullet and a little bit of damage here and there. But this is a 100 to, again, near 0 Zerg wave, as there's 1 Ultralisk in the top lane.
I think it is 0. It just rounds up to 12.
That's... Your math teachers will have to teach me how that math works, but
yeah, that's,
sure enough.
That's a Blizzard exclusive. A lot of chain CC coming out onto Scooterman, and he is going to get blown up very quickly considering he's a Garrosh. We did have these Shield Smash coming out and hitting onto Mystic. They do pop ult after the fact and get back up to full health, but just a huge amount of damage remaining for your map teachers. We do have a big Crushing Jaws coming out into Kuzan, but not very much follow-on damage, and that is going to be Mystic going down as well. Revent is low. There's a slide. He's dead as well, and that is just about it for game number 1. Really strong performance coming out from your math teachers.
Ooh. I know it makes absolutely no difference in the end, but Monoderp lived out with 6 HP, and I like living with single-digit numbers. But nonetheless, the core lives with a 0, and game 1 to your math teachers.
Sometimes the small digits are even more impressive than the large ones.
I like it. So, yeah, that, just judging by the drafts, that's kinda how that goes, I think. I liked your math teacher's comp a little bit more. They got the premier tank remaining. They had the Kael'thas for the lots and lots of damage, and boy did he put it out with 52k. Malfurion, pretty good healer overall. Ragnaros did his great job in the top lane, being able to fend off Yrel a lot of the time, and remain finished kills and chunked out cursed bullets. So, yeah, good job all around by your math teachers.
Yeah. I don't think there's a whole lot necessarily to comment on. Cube Mastery is a bit of a weird talent on 7 for Deckard, but it's not that out there.
Is that the reduced damage one?
No, the Kanai's Cube is the standard talent.
Ah, that's the reduced damage.
Yeah, this is the reduced cooldown and also reduced mana cost for his E.
Neat.
Kael'thas is a bit of an interesting build. I don't see a whole lot of Sunfire enchantment.
Yeah, Sunfire enchantments, it works with the Pyroblast because you get that 15% spell power. It is a little conditional, but you can make that Pyro do a wallop of a damage. Hit Deckard, the last victim of Pyroblast, for over 2,000 damage. So
That's a lot of damage.
That sure is.
Alright, so I'm seeing an NGS chat. 1 second for map pick from the person you were calling MZ Easy. I prefer MZez. But because they did not have a mic, we don't actually know exactly how they pronounce that name, so...
We could ask in the next lobby, I suppose.
Sure could. So Calculator Throw opting for first pick, once again, and we're going to be going to Volskaya Foundry for game number 2.
Seems pretty good.
A lot of math involved in creating giant fighting robots.
Yeah, I bet there was. Lots of math, lots of engineering had to be taught by somebody.
Ooh. I want to make a your engineering teachers team sometime then.
Oh, there you go. When do we have, like, all of the teachers for all the subjects?
You know, if we got any other teacher team, I would want it to be music, I think.
That seems pretty good. I guess they're contractually obliged to play Lucio every game.
I would not mind. I would cast them so often if there was... You know, if there was any team that was actually contractually obligated to play a hero if it wasn't banned out, I would be more likely to cast that team.
You heard it here. All right. Well, we are getting the people loaded in. We do have that nice portrait synergy. I'm gonna ask. Okay. Question: is it MZ Easy or MZez? Let's see if we can solve the minutes-old dilemma.
Mez is okay. MZ Easy. No, it's not. You heard it here first from not MZ Easy. It is, in fact, MZ Easy. Back to the tweet screen.
Mez is okay. That's a silent Z in there, Ektar.
Uh-huh.
Or as our friends from up north might say, a silent Z.
I don't know anyone that would say that.
No, we don't have any friends up north.
Up north for me is like, what, Washington? Oregon?
And it's basically the same thing as where our our wonderful Canadian friends are from.
Yeah, I mean, British Columbia and Washington like literally are kind of the same thing, except one of them has universal health care.
And maple leaves.
And maple syrup and poutine.
Oof.
Why am I not in Canada right now?
I don't know. Because it gets cold as all get out in winter.
I'm from Buffalo.
Right.
That's all of the
That's a good point. I'm from
the bad
southern
things
US.
about being in Canada without any of the benefits of being in Canada.
I'm from the southern US. It gets like once you get below like 10, even probably below 20 Fahrenheit, it's cold. So
I mean, you're not wrong, and Buffalo doesn't get crazy cold because Lake Erie is a giant...
Yeah. Lake effect snow machine, but also warm.
Lake effect snow machine, but also thermal capacitor.
True in both regards, and both related.
Yes. Ooh. Which is why Watertown gets so freaking much snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
This cast got weird real fast, Ace.
It went Ektar, it got meteorological. It just happens. It's a podcast, and we're in between that.
If I ever see someone go meatball build on Ragnaros, I'm gonna have to slip in a meteorological pun into there.
I see what you're throwing down. And we did have a Ragnaros, and we had a partial meatball build.
Only picked it up on 7 though. All right,
very partial.
I see 3 R's in chat, and the game is not started yet.
You know, it just happens that way sometimes.
It sure does. There we go. Getting us here into what Katya Volskaya calls Volskaya Industry, what the Nexus calls Volskaya Foundry, here for game number 2.
I think they ripped that voice line directly from Overwatch.
I mean, I don't know why they don't do that so much more often. Like, there's so many audio sources that they could rip from other things that it seems like they just haven't. Like, why are all of Anduin's voice lines not ripped straight out of Hearthstone?
I'm out of cards.
They recorded a different I'm out of cards for Heroes of the Storm when this already exists in Hearthstone.
To be fair, it would sound out of place. Didn't they have a change in voice actor for Anduin?
Did they?
I feel like they did.
I mean, his incarnation in Heroes of the Storm, I think, is older than the one in Hearthstone. And probably younger than the one in World of Warcraft, because Anduin is everywhere.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the something that happened. I don't know. Maybe I don't know my Warcraft voice actor lore well enough. So, we do have Johanna Zool banned out, Greymane and Kale picked up. Let's see if Calculated Throw wants to pick up that ETC here.
This time I think it is even more their onus to pick up.
This realm needs me.
Not
Li
Ming.
Li Ming.
Definitely think ETC was the pick here.
Out of first picks to pick up, maybe they're coming up with something spicy, which would be cool.
It would be.
Spice.
But they're gonna have to sell me on it at this point.
Yeah, gotta be sold. ETC picked up by your math teachers and going with percent damage on one probably with Imperious.
Imperious is the most played bruiser for your math teachers, followed by Ragnaros. So, like to see them sticking with the heroes that they win with. Admittedly, your math teachers win a lot. They've won every series that they've actually played, so the only series they lost was a forfeit they had to give over to I Must Feed.
That adds up to being a good record.
Yeah, 80% win rate. Pretty decent team.
Yep.
Not doing the best in their division, but still very good.
That could be an interesting showdown. Muradin and Raynor picked up for Calculated Throw. Just don't like Muradin anymore. I feel bad.
Muradin is like What's a... He's like Walmart brand ETC.
Is he? I mean... yeah. 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 That kind of feels right. It's just... His jump gets interrupted by so many things now that it's no longer a reliable escape, and that makes him significantly harder to play.
Yeah.
In kind of your standard composition.
And
that's why I have him just
like
so rough to play.
I'll give you, Murden is a lot more survivable than ETC. But
yeah. And he can trade health better.
He can trade, especially in lane, he can trade health better because he can just trade it away and then walk. But I think if you're really counting on your tank to soak damage, that's a certain playstyle that you can make work, and they are kind of drafting into that with the long-range auto-attack Raynor and Li Ming, which chat has already started calling as being or build.
To be fair, it's pretty good. I think or build actually reasonable on this map.
Steam comp.
Chen's cool. I like Chen. Just overall.
I had seen that Calculated Throw have run Whitemane in one prior occasion, and they lost with it, but they have run Whitemane before, so it's a hero that they think can work. But like,
the hunt is on.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
it's maybe
I hope they convince
prevention
me.
From Jaina, but
and again, if you're on the point, you can actually. I guess you can get the hits easier.
I would love to see it work. I'm just terrified that one biotic grenade is going to end this man's whole career.
Yeah, that is a bit of a worry overall.
Yeah, which is why personally I really like Lucio for burst prevention, because you don't get destroyed by Ana. Yeah,
Lucio being the only major non-healing burst kind of thing with his large shields. Super cool. So, yeah, that's Lucio good for that reason.
Alrighty, and we have once again spawning on the right-hand side in the red trunks, looking to take us to a game number 3. Calculated Throw with Mystic playing the Gentleman, with Scooterman playing Muradin, Grievent playing Whitemane, Monitor playing Li Ming, and bringing up the rear is Tater on Jim Raynor.
And in the blue trunks on the left side of the map, we have Mez, MZ Easy, or Mzez on Jaina. You can pick what you want. Rikuhime on Ana, Coyote Stark on Imperious Kuzan on ETC, and Inti on Lunara.
Checking out the level 1s, we do have confirmation Ana is going into Sleep Dart build, which is the standard, instead of the Biotic Grenade, which has fallen out of favor after the nerf to her level 7 a while ago. Whitemane, Jimmy, all standard. I think that the Force Armor is a bit of a less standard pick, but I think all of Li Ming's level 1s are at least somewhat viable.
Yeah, because it gives you that passive mana regeneration without needing globes, which can let you play on different angles and go into like pick-off combos and have enough mana for them. So it seems reasonable at this point.
Got a lot of people in chat not necessarily believing in the draft from Calculated Throw, but hoping that they make it work anyway, as we do have Inti caught in a really weird spot, and Tater might... Oh. I think I was one auto attack away, and that is maybe going to spell his own death in return. Grievent able to keep him alive. That was so close to a kill, and if that could have snowballed into big things this game if they'd gotten it.
Yeah, that was incredibly close on both sides, but no blood completely shed yet. Scooterman hitting the Stormbolts on Murden right now, even against the jumpy target that Lunara can be, so maybe it's foreshadowing of things to come, Ektar. I like to see it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I would like to see Inti playing just a bit further back, or maybe behind some minions, so that they don't get Stormbolted every time that they walk into a new lane. I want to see both of our teams do well, but I also want to see one team do slightly better so we can get to a game 3. As we have that team currently taking their camp. Gonna take it just a little bit faster than their opponents, as MZEZ is basically out of mana and is gonna have to pull back after taking this camp.
That's the life of Jaina in the early game, is out of mana perpetually because her spells cost, I think, 400 mana per use until like level 7. It's kind of crazy.
Interesting. Her spells get cheaper over time.
That
a
is
design
true.
Space that I am not familiar with.
Yeah, it's what it feels like, though, to be real honest. And she just burns through mana so fast. But
we do
nonetheless,
have
first
Orbital
trick
coming out.
Yeah.
So look
sure
to see
do.
Mona Derp get a lot of value in these team fights. We've all played Brawls. We know how much value she can get. It's just usually when you're not fighting over the same thing for a really protracted amount of time, you don't get that same degree of value. However, Volskaya is the map where you fight over a single point for probably the longest. So if you're going to get Orb Build to work anywhere, it's probably here.
As far as timed objectives go, this thing takes like 5 seconds to capture, and then you have to stand on it for 50 seconds. Minimum. That's absolute minimumsville. If there's any interruptions or delays or the other team gets it, it can go a minute 40 or 2 minutes or longer.
So bad. Cowdy Stark is already in here. He doesn't get the Q out onto Tater. He's able to walk away. Scooterman's able to walk away as well, but he'd gotten Mystic so low in the bot lane that he was able to rotate up so much faster that even though Calculated Throw had been on this camp for quite a few seconds, it still is going to go in favor of your math teachers. And Mystic is still at half hit points.
Yeah, while you're not in a team fight, Whitemane can't do a whole lot as far as healing is concerned, whereas Ana has some pretty solid throughput overall as far as, just out-of-fight healing is concerned.
Yep, those level 7s coming in from both sides. Finishing out the Sleep Dart build. Big stun actually coming out onto Scooterman. I believe that was a Sleep Dart. Mystic's still pretty low, is hopefully going to be able to walk out of there. The Stagger is going to take him down to below his hit points, and is just going to continue to get killed unto death as Whitemane falls basically at the same time, and they drop over their turret, so everything is going in the way of your math teachers right now. Ooh,
that is
actually going Calamity, even after Orban 4.
That's Triumvirate is the standard even for Calamity Ming.
Okay.
Because it's just after they nerfed Dominance to do percent-based health back instead of guaranteed 20%.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. As instead of 20%, it's like 30% of remaining health or something. It no longer became good enough to pick all the time, and Triumvirate now better for the poke.
Yep. It looks like Mystic has already said that he's going to rotate out, and they have to give the rest of this objective. Maybe the rest of the team hadn't received that information quite yet, because they did try to go back into that 4 versus 5. Luckily, they were able to get out of there very nicely and not take any additional deaths. But that is going to be the first objective going over in favor of your math teachers, who have yet to put a gunner in, as Inti is going to put themselves in just now.
Yep, and they're going to march their way right up to this top wall here. Probably going to work on top wall, get the top fountain, if they can put some priority onto that, and they haven't got that yet. They are firing the laser at it, and they're going to try and make an aggression, but it is 4v2, and they'll be committing quite heavily to this.
Yeah, I would like to see Mystic rotate up so they can make this into a 5 versus whoever was here. Scooterman is able to get some nice CC onto the teams. Mystic does run up to now, but Scooterman goes down first, and that is now giving us about a full level lead in favor of your math teachers. As they're still
that was
find some
very
value in the top
close.
lane, actually.
Yeah, they are. Well, there's no tank there, and level 10's picked up. Your math teachers can basically do mostly what they want. Mystic's going to get slid on, speared, and staggered. Probably is he gonna live? He didn't take that much damage. He took enough.
Yeah.
And
just that little extra damage from the what is it, Solarian's Fire, or is that a talent?
I couldn't tell you. Let me check. It is Valorous Brand is the trait.
Right, but he got hit with
Solarian's Fire is the W. You are correct, Victor.
Holy
Well
cow,
done.
why do I know
I
that?
did not know that. What a god. Solarian's Fire, Diablo lore wizard over here. My goodness.
No, that's literally Li Ming on the other side. We do have the 10s now getting picked up for your math teachers, which we've not talked about basically in 2 full games. We've got the Nano Boost, Water Elemental, Mosh Pit, Leaping Strike, and, oh man, I should know the 10 for sure.
Do it. You can get that, but you can't get Angelic Armaments.
Angelic Armaments.
How do you know Valorious brand and not Angelic Armaments? I'm impressed. I'm just impressed.
I could explain that, but it's a little beyond the scope of the current cast, as the 10s are also picked up for the members of Calculated Throw. They do have the... You know, I'm not going to say all the 10s. I'm so bad at heroics, man. I don't even know why I try.
Alright, Storm, Earth, and Fire, Avatar, Wave of Force, Hyperion, and, what was it, Divine Reckoning? Yeah, 5/5. There you go. Or Panda Pals, if you really want to.
I would have said Panda Pals.
It's Panda Pals. It's always Panda Pals.
We've hit the awkward part of the game where not a lot is happening. Most of the camps are taken, the lanes are just being soaked, but there's nothing for either team to really fight over. So both teams are just kind of soaking, trying to find their opponents out of position.
Ooh,
for the most part,
might have
not
found
being
one.
out of position. MZ Easy did dodge the Stormbolt. Probably would have gone down if they hadn't, but this does mean that Scooterman's jump is down, and if Coyote Stark's able to find an Impale, then it could be pretty rough for Murden, but is able to walk away. And 13s are going to be picked up just in time for the second objective, and they're still pretty far off for Calculated Throw.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with the objective in the top lane down a full level. So again, there's no well for Calculated Throw to kind of save to. They're going to have to make some kind of like dramatic play, try and grab a pick, maybe onto the Imperius or something. Or they're probably just going to have to give this up. It's gonna be a tough time for him.
I would like to see them play onto Imperius personally.
Yeah, and it seems like Scooterman might be headed that way, might not be headed that way, or not really sure what they're doing other than getting zoned out a little bit by ETC as Rikuhime with the aim down sights can just channel on point, and as long as they stay in that effective range of Ana are good to go.
Yeah, and there's really nothing Calculated Throw can do about Ana except try to kill heroes to get to her. A lot of damage coming out onto Coyote Stark, who does pop the Angelic Armaments and does get the full duration of that, so he's going to have those swords to throw. We do have Storm, Earth, and Fire getting popped. Tater gets down very low, but is able to walk away, but it's a very awkward team fight, and both teams are split in really kind of weird ways. Mystic, I think, is going to get taken out. That is all of the Panda Pals getting taken out. Scooterman is going to fall next. Actually, he fell second next as Whitemane got dropped instead. That is 3-0 in favor of your math teachers, who decided to put just Ana back on the point and have everybody else split out to do, bigger and better things.
Yep, and looks like Tater gonna get slid on and killed under the fort. Fort can't do anything to ETC for that short duration, and it looks like it's a free objective for your math teachers, and it looks like they're just gonna take top fort pretty much with no contest, along with invading the turret camp down bottom and picking that up too.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot that your math teachers can't actually do right now with this objective. They'll have 16 by the time the Triglav goes down. So Calculated Throw, we're in a really rough spot at this point. Your math teachers have been playing very well. They haven't even given over a single kill yet, as they make their way all the way down to the bottom lane, trying to do exactly what they did with the second objective, or the first objective, and secure the third objective by taking out that well.
Volskaya things. I really wish they made the points on here random, like Infernal Shrines, to be real honest.
That would be an interesting
I feel like
for sure.
I think this leads to static gameplay, to be honest. You go in, you snipe the well, and you wait for the Triglav to scale. That's what happens a lot of the time. MZ Easy actually was on the bad side of a possible Stormbolt, but doesn't end up receiving anything too bad. And the Triglav pops, and yeah, it's a fort kind of hurt, walls down, and back to the we'll take the camps, and then we'll stand around awkwardly waiting for point C to open.
Yeah, but now they've got a 2-level lead with a very significant talent tier, so they could also include the Biotic Emitter in that. We're just going to take all the camps on the map game plan.
That is, in fact, what they're allowed to do.
Worth noting,
Biotic...
Lunara's not here.
Yep, note me. That is a factual statement.
However,
that is a factual statement.
Calculated Throw making the conservative play and just taking their own camp, not looking to try and do anything down level 16, which you can't really blame them for, but at some point you always have to ask, how many things can we give up before we actually can't come back anymore?
Yep, that is something that we talked about rather extensively fairly recently. So they're trying to make something happen here in the top lane. Imperial Lord gets a stick. Nice intercession by Whitemane there. ETC goes in for the nice mosh, gets 3. Whitemane, Muradin, and Jim all having a dance party, returning to the Hall of Storms, and is all turning up here for your math teachers.
Yeah, Mona actually getting rooted by MZEZ, but able to blink away before Kagi Stark or Kuzan were able to respond with their own CC. But it's very possible that this top keep goes down, and that's going to set them up extremely nicely for the third objective. They probably don't end here.
No.
Unless they're able to get at least one more kill. If Mona staggers out here, maybe they can end here, but...
Yep, that was a good teleport.
Nice and safe. Very far back so that she does not give over a kill at this late stage in the game. They just want to get 16 and not die here.
Yeah, Lunar's looking for that leaping strike. She can just play that checkers in and out game without it being too difficult. So, yeah, that's a good safe play there by Mona Derp to keep them in the game. As, Invade is coming in, and yeah, looks like your math teachers can just have that.
Yeah, Mystic doesn't want them to have that. They are about to have 16. He does pop the Panda Pelt to not die, but that is going to be Whitemane dying instead. We do have the active reload coming out to save somebody, probably Coyote Stark.
MZZ.
Lots of damage being put into your math teachers, but, you know, just nowhere near enough at this point, and that teamfight started so awkwardly. Mystic is still in a really rough spot, tries to get the flying kick over, but does still get stunned out of it and killed, and now their opponents weren't pushing up towards 20 before that teamfight, but they kind of are now. And I think it's going to be really, really difficult for Calculated Throw to defend a Triglav down level 20.
Yeah, that's a tall task for any team. The scaling is just hurting them so bad. They're down like, what, 13-ish% as far as health and health and damage are concerned, and that's tough to break through.
It's 4% per level, right, for a lot of those things?
Yeah, but exponential scaling on it. So
yeah, that's fair.
4.16 or whatever, or 8.1, whatever the math works to.
Yeah, we'll have to ask, well, MZEZ if they're able to take this game.
Yep, that is how math works. Scooterman gonna go ahead and get slid on hit with 2 leaping strikes. Whitemane disappears from the map in a vanishing act as Jaina drops full combo and just completely annihilates her. Triglav now picked up, and with 2 extra kills and a bottom fort, this might have a chance to end.
I think this has a very good chance of ending.
Yeah,
the third Triglav is strong enough to basically guarantee the keep, and without 2 people here for the defense, those 2 don't do a lot for the defense necessarily, but they keep the defense healthy and able to position. Li Ming can put out a lot of damage, Jim Raynor can put out a lot of damage, but they can't sustain it. So if damage gets put into them, they just have to go back until the rest of the team can come up. This thing is still at 80% health as it goes barreling into the keep. And they've got all 5 people down here. Mystic is still in the top lane. He needs to be here for this defense because your math teachers are going to look to keep going.
Yep, there's no reason for them not to. Mystic on the way down, but it will be Sans main tank now as Scooterman gets taken out. Grievance pushed to the side. Triglav still sitting at a 3rd health and is wailing on the core. Big numbing blast comes out from the Jaina. Is going to secure a kill on the Whitemane. Glove hand from the core does hit MZEZ, but there's really nothing to punish him. Triglav is fighting the players, not fighting the core, so the core stays alive for now, but with 3 members down for Calculated Throw, it looks like the win and the 2-0 sweep go over to your math teachers.
We're just calling anything a sweep now?
And I wanted to say something. It is a sweep. It can be a 2-0. It happens. I don't know.
That's fair, I suppose.
If you're legally allowed to call it a reverse sweep, you can legally call it a sweep in the first place.
Yeah, okay. So checking out the summary screen, in game number 1, there was a big difference in damage being done by the top damage on both teams. But in this game, it's a lot closer. Only 4k separating Monoderp and MZEZ. Healing, definitely in favor of Ana. That's part of the nature of Ana, is she can shut off other people's healing. But also, as you said, Whitemane doesn't heal outside of combat very much. But a full 2k XP lead for Imperius over Chen, and that's just like regular minion XP. That doesn't count all of the benefit from the trickle XP from killing buildings, and yeah, it's just really well done by them.
Yep, indeed. Good game overall, as we will try and get MZEZ or Mez, whoever, in for a post-game interview.
So I can tell you that MZEZ did not have a working microphone.
Correct.
So we might be getting some other representative in their stead.
Who might it be?
Ooh, I know who it is. It is going to be Coyote Stark.
Alrighty. The offlane extraordinaire of the set.
Yes. Let's hop over to one of the regular lobbies, because I don't think non-casters can join in the casting lobbies. And
yes,
hopefully we can get them on in here. Hey, welcome Coyote Stark, and congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Thank you. Sorry, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, are you the team's assistant captain, or are you just the designated representative?
I am the one who likes talking the most shit, so that is why I am allowed to do the interviews. Plus, I'm really eager to do these. This is, whereas they're a bit like, they just say generic stuff like, oh yeah, both teams play hard, and that's not true. That's not what happened today.
Alrighty. So, I don't know if you're going to have necessarily the insight into this particular question, but your team had map pick, and you chose to go to Braxis Holdout, which is one of the lesser popular maps. So, what's the deal with going to Braxis in particular?
Well, we figured it's good to practice things that we don't normally play, and Braxis is a map we don't often play on. So we figured the whole point of the regular season is to practice for the playoffs, right? So we figured we might as well play the maps that we don't play well on, and that's why we picked it.
Alrighty. And let's see. Your team, I feel like, had, for the most part, a relatively standard composition that we see. Your opponents did a little bit weirder with the Garrosh and then the Zebo. Is Ragnaros just a pick for that map for the Lava Wave, or are you just confident in his solo laning and ability to win the point?
I just picked him for the wave clear, and then also, yeah, I was pretty confident I could win solo lane. I'm pretty confident I can almost always win solo lane. Like, me and Kuzan, we're the guys who play solo. We're either going to win or tie. It doesn't really matter what hero we pick. But in that situation, yeah, I was trying to go for Ragnaros for the wave clear. Yarel also doesn't do a lot of damage, so I figured even if she sustains me, she won't be able to threaten me with death. So either way, I'll be able to contest the point, and then that's what ended up happening. Because our bot would end up getting killed. I was confident that our bot would be able to win, and then even if I wasn't winning, I could tie it, and then they would come up for a gank, and then either way we'd get both points.
Interesting. What makes you so confident that your 4-man was going to win? Just player skill, individual team drafting.
Yeah, I feel like well, first of all, picking Zebo, he's not a really good pick because the damage that he does isn't focused. You can't be like, oh hey, hit this person for this much damage right now. On top of that, Malfurion is really good at healing damage over time, and our Rikuhime is very, very good at Malfurion. So then the Zebo was pretty much a non-issue, which made that a 3v4, and then you're always gonna win a 3v4. So
I've noticed that. Rikuhime, it seems to play like Malfurion unless Malf is banned. Is that just a really strong comfort pick, or does he just really believe in the hero?
People are just scared, and so they ban Malfurion a lot. And yeah, he really likes playing him. It's his favorite hero to play, but he's got, he can be everybody, and that's the thing. They can't. People try to ban him, target ban us, but it doesn't work because there's no one piece that like it's a linchpin, right? Like we're all just great. It's like a dream team, you know? We got everyone can do everything.
I would love to make a sports metaphor, but I don't sports enough for that, so something about LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Well, that's what the dream team like. All right, never. You know, like the dream team. Never mind. Sorry, whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
All right, so you had map pick again going into game number 2, and you go to Volskaya Foundry, which is a very different map than Braxis Holdout. Is that one you're less comfortable on, or just wanted to get the practice?
We're actually pretty confident on that map. I feel like we normally, from my memory, like I might be wrong. My statistics might not back me up, but I feel like we do well on that map. Usually we win. I think we kind of picked that because we weren't. We kind of felt like they would come super strong and aggressive game 2 to try to get a win. So we were like, okay, let's try to pick a map that we're maybe a bit more confident on. And you saw the results. You know, they got handled.
Yeah, it was not the closest game that I've ever cast, to be sure, but also not the most one-sided. I've seen some pretty one-sided games. At the very least, there were a couple of team fights that could have gone one way or another or got really messy. In particular, there was a... in the first game, actually, the fight on the boss. That was potentially very scary for y'all. It ended up working out in your favor extraordinarily well, but there was a lot of ults that hit onto your team.
Well, fortune favors the bold, you know, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, so when you get to some of those really messy team fights, how do you try to keep things as organized as possible?
I don't even think we try to be that organized, really. It's about, like, we're all individually quite skilled, and we've also played together a lot. So even in chaotic situations, we're kind of aware of what the other person's going to do. And so even though maybe like, it might seem more chaotic than it actually is, we all have a good idea of what's going on. And that's where we're really good at, like, that's what we like taking those kind of fights, and we kind of end up winning those kind of fights, because we're all, like, we're all good at, like, understanding what the other person's doing. And so even in chaotic situations like that, we all kind of have an idea of what the other guy's going to do. And that means, and usually the enemy team has no idea what they're going to do. So they just kind of shamble, and then we swipe in and get them.
There is a lot to be said for playing with the same group for so long that you kind of inherently know what they're going to do even without making those shot calls, which I've definitely experienced. And going to a new team, it's been really hard. You know, I've played with the same team for 2.5 years or so, and then to go to a new team, even when they play the same heroes, they don't necessarily play the same way. So having that consistent team synergy really can help to propel a team to even higher heights.
Yeah, and, like, besides Inti, me and the other 3 guys have been gaming together pretty much since we were, like, in high school. So we have a lot of experience together.
So that's about it for me for questions. Ace, do you got anything?
I am pretty much good overall.
All right, so then we're going to throw it over to you for any shout-outs that you want to give.
All right, I'd like to say that these guys seem like they were ranked diamond, but they played like they were team copper, so I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully, you know.
Hey.
Sorry.
You need to be respectful to all the teams and all the players in this league, and that's not acceptable overall. I'm sorry.
Okay. My bad.
So, if you want to give out any shout-outs to your team or whatever, go for it, but we don't stand for that here.
Yeah, no worries. My bad. Yeah, well, everyone played well, you know. So thanks for streaming us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for putting on fun games.
Okie dokie. See you later.
Have a good night.
This is coin toss lobby.
It sure is, but no one on the stream knew that, Ace.
Casting lobby.
It sure is the casting lobby. Thank you everyone for being here. We're gonna find someone to raid on over real quick. There should probably be some more NGS matches happening tonight because there were actually a fair number of them.
Yeah, there's like 5 on the front page right now.
All right. Go away. Top menu bar.
Venus D, Kelsier, and Linehouse are the other streamers currently.
Ooh. Let me go ahead and mute this before all of them start playing. I know that I have a lot of appreciation for D for casting us the other night. And if it looks like they've still got some decent time left on their series, then we're going to go ahead and host them over. Looks like they are
Sounds like a plan.
into second game. 13 minutes in, but you know what? It looks like it still go either way, so we're going to throw the raid on over to D Hots. As soon as I find that raid channel button. There it is. Thank you everyone for showing up again. Huge shout out to both of my teammates that are, or both of my team's mates, which have been showing up for FPS Nate, Colonel Pants, Fear, and Drunk Dwarf. I saw you all being active in chat, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to get the raid started. We're on a 45-second delay, so we're going to get cut off a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, we will.
Although I will want to keep it open for a little bit because I want those shout-outs to get out to everyone, because I love you guys. Especially Nate when you're drinking, because you're hilarious.
Factual. So, yep. Again, thanks for joining, and we will see you in another episode soon.
Yep. And bye-bye.